We see two children in the beginning, a boy named Junie and a girl named Carmen. Their mother tells them that it's time for bed. We notice that Junie has some sort of infection on his hands, which is why he has to keep tape on his fingers all the time. Carmen then asks her mother, Ingrid, to tell them a bedtime story, just like she used to tell spy stories. Ingrid begins telling a story about two spies, one boy and one girl, who worked for different countries. They were so skilled that they could change their entire identities and no one could catch them. But the problem for these spies was that spies from other countries were constantly trying to kill them. One day, the boy and girl spies meet each other. After a while, they start dating, and later, they make a big decision and marry each other. Everyone knew how strong these spies were, and if they got married, no one knew what could happen. Carmen asks, what happens next? Ingrid tells her that after their marriage, they moved far away, had children, and lived happily ever after. Next, we see Gregorio Curtis, who tells his wife, Ingrid, that they shouldn't hide things from their children. Ingrid responds, saying that their children are also hiding things from them. We then discover that Gregorio and Ingrid haven't stopped spying. Their home is full of high-tech gadgets. Ingrid learns that Gregorio is working on a mission that he hasn't shared with her. Every morning, Junie and Carmen have to do exercises, but they don't know why. Gregorio and Ingrid discover that many of the spies in their club have gone missing, and no one knows where they are. We then see that Junie has a favorite show hosted by an anchor named Flup. Junie loves this show, but Gregorio tells him that it's a waste of time. When Junie goes to school, he gets bullied by his friends. He thinks that his father will fight with the bullies and save him. But when Gregorio sees one of the bullies' fathers, he realizes that he may not be able to help him. Next, we see Flup with a big investor who tells him, I've invested millions in you, so what have you invented so far? Flup shows his inventions, which include some dolls and robots called Thumb Thumb, but none of them are useful. Flup has an advisor named Minion, who guides him on what to say to the investor. The investor gives Flup one last warning, telling him that if he doesn't deliver an army soon, things won't go well for him. The children's appearance could change into anyone they wanted, but the only thing missing was the brain incision. After that, the investor leaves, saying, I'm giving you very little time, and I need this army of children soon. Meanwhile, we see Gregorio searching for something when Ingrid arrives. Gregorio tells Ingrid that he has to go on a mission which their main boss informed him about. Ingrid responds that they haven't been involved in espionage for almost 9 or 10 years, so she can't let him go alone. Gregorio asks her, can you stop me from going? After that, Gregorio convinces Ingrid to join him on the mission, and they leave their children with a friend, whom they refer to as Uncle, to take care of them. Gregorio and Ingrid return to their old spy personalities. On the way, Ingrid worries about what the children might be doing. As they continue their journey, they submerge their car underwater, which was so high-tech that it continued running even underwater. But soon, they realize someone is following them, and suddenly, a huge submarine captures them. This triggers a red alert at their house. Back at the house, Uncle Felix tells the children, first of all, I'm not your uncle, and secondly, there are many things you need to know. Your parents are spies, and some of the best in the world. But I can't tell you everything right now. Felix opens a door in their house and tells them to press the green and blue buttons. As Felix was about to gather some things, Thumb robots arrive. Felix tells Junie and Carmen through the camera, you only need to remember one thing. OSSN is still alive. Before the robots could enter, Junie and Carmen start their gadget and escape in a ship-like vehicle that moves through the water. At this point, Junie and Carmen are not sure how to operate it, but after much struggle, they manage to make it work. The gadget is on autopilot, and the next station is a safe house, but it would take time to reach it. Meanwhile, Gregorio and Ingrid are kidnapped by none other than Flup and Minion, who are after Gregorio because he is a brilliant scientist and possesses gadgets that no one else has created yet. When Junie and Carmen finally reach the safe house, they think it's a useless place and might not be safe at all. However, when Carmen says her full name, it works like a password, and the house opens. The house is nothing less than a high-tech spaceship, fully equipped with all the facilities to live in. Carmen starts reading a book and looks up information about her parents, realizing how great spies they were and how much they kept hidden. She comes to the conclusion that maybe it's up to them to save their parents now. Ingrid uses her ring, and after that, she manages to get Gregorio out as well. The two of them try to escape, but they end up getting trapped in a room where they can't find an exit. Through a slide, they fall directly onto Flup's dining table. Flup says, "I thought you guys weren't spies anymore. Looks like you'll never escape now." Flup asks Gregorio to make the same thing again, the third brain, about which Ingrid says, "Maybe you should have told me about this earlier." On the other side, Junie and Carmen are checking every gadget, trying to figure out how they work. But then, someone rings their doorbell, and before they know it, people enter. They introduce themselves as being from OSA and claim to have known their family for a long time, meaning that their mom and dad used to work with them. Junie and Carmen don't recognize these people as Flup's team. Carmen then recalls, "Uncle Felix told us before we left that the third brain is still active." After hearing this, Flup's team starts searching the whole house for the third brain. Junie and Carmen realize that if their mom and dad could be saved from this brain, they must protect it. Carmen straps on a backpack and begins to chase after the person who took the brain. Meanwhile, Junie narrowly escapes and reaches a safe spot. Carmen, who is very skilled, manages to fly and grab the brain, and then goes back to get Junie. But by then, the thumb robots are after them. Junie and Carmen outsmart the robots and manage to escape by boarding a bus. We see that Flup really likes his show, but when Minion tells him that he should focus on building his army, Flup responds, "This is all your idea. You came up with this. If you want to do something, go ahead. I'm not interested." Minion then tells Flup that the third brain is still active, and if it gets integrated into the children's army, they could become the richest people in the world. Flup asks, "Did you catch Gregorio and Ingrid's children?" Minion responds, "If we want to catch the children, we need to send these smart robots." Soon, robots with the same appearance as Junie and Carmen arrive to capture them. Junie tries to break the third brain, thinking that if he destroys it, all the problems will be solved. Carmen says, "This is the only thing that can save our mom and dad." But then, robots with their own faces show up, and these robots are very strong. So Junie and Carmen are unable to fight them off. The robots take the third brain from the two children and leave. Meanwhile, Gregorio and Ingrid tell the children that when they were creating the third brain, they knew it would cause a lot of harm in the future, and no one wanted to get caught up in this mess. That's why they destroyed everything related to it. But Gregorio kept the third brain hidden. And now, they're facing the consequences of that decision. Junie has a photo of his father, which shows another man. Carmen believes that perhaps this man, from the photo, could help them. The man's name was Mr. Shetty. Junie and Carmen go to Mr. Shetty and explain everything, saying, "We are from the Cortez family, and our parents' names are Gregorio and Ingrid." Mr. Shetty tells them, "Get out of here, I'm not going to help you, and I won't help my younger brother either." Eventually, Junie and Carmen realize that he is their real uncle. On the other side, Flup finds out that the third brain still hasn't reached them. He asks Minion about it, and Minion replies, "I no longer need you. I only wanted the third brain." Minion then has his boss, Flup, arrested and starts creating the children's army on his own. Junie and Carmen are still at their uncle's place. They tell him, "We need to reach Flup's castle no matter what." Mr. Shetty tells them, "I only have one gadget, and only one person can fit in it." Junie and Carmen try very hard to convince their uncle to help them, but Mr. Shetty refuses. So, Junie and Carmen decide to stay up all night, learning how to use the gadgets. The next morning, before their uncle wakes up, they take the rocket and leave. Junie and Carmen struggle, but manage to operate the rocket and eventually reach Flup's castle. They think about entering through the water route, but when they see a lot of sharks in the water, Junie gets scared and says, "I need to go to the bathroom right now." Carmen tells him, "You can't do that here. There are cameras. Let me just take a picture and put it in front of the camera, and I'll open the door right away." We see that Minion has many cameras in Flup's castle, but despite that, Junie and Carmen manage to escape the robot attack, but they realize that they are in a very dangerous place. They find a dummy that they had seen earlier in Flup's show. When they ask about their parents, the dummy responds in an encrypted language. The robot versions of their faces notice them and start to attack. Junie barely escapes to another room, while Carmen falls down a level. Junie, on the other hand, meets Flup, and after talking to him, he realizes that Minion is behind everything. He now knows they need to escape. Meanwhile, Minion tries to turn Gregorio into a doll again. Minion learns that the investors are coming back to meet Flup and his army, so he tells them, Flup has gone somewhere, but the army is ready. Junie convinces Flup that they need to leave and also fix or reprogram the robots if the third brain has already been inserted into them. So, Junie and Flup set off to change the robot's programming. Carmen reaches her mom and finds her. At the same time, Minion and the investors are all standing in a hall, waiting for the army created by the Third Brain. Just then, Gregorio arrives with Ingrid, and Junie and Carmen join them. They trap Minion in a gadget, changing his face as well. Flup tries to change the programming, but struggles to understand how to do it. So Junie helps him by explaining that he needs to make the robots act oppositely to everything. The spy family now realizes they cannot fight the army alone. They need one more person to join them. At this point, their uncle arrives, and together, they manage to stop the robots and throw the investors and Minion away. In the end, when the two Cortez brothers reunite, it's an emotional moment. After completing their mission, the family goes back home and lives happily together. Flup's show also does well since he has now reprogrammed the children's minds for good. On the other hand, a message from the head of the spy organization arrives, announcing a new mission. Gregorio and Ingrid decide they won't go on any more missions, but their boss reveals that the new mission is for Junie and Carmen. The children reply that if they go, they'll bring their parents along as well. And with that, the movie ends. Don't forget to hit that like button if you want more recaps and exciting breakdowns. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our next movie recap. Until then, stay curious, stay adventurous, and we'll see you in the next one.